One of the great things about coming to the end of a financial year is that you get a chance to be able to go and review the metrics on what's really happened inside of your business. And as a great business leader, what you want to start thinking about is what are the metrics that really matter? Now, you might have a quick look at the listings, the sales, the total income that's been produced, but then you start to have a quick look at your property management business. You know, what's actually happened there in terms of net growth over the last 12 months? What's the average case value for every single property management you have in play? And off the back of that, what are you doing in terms of margin to be able to increase margin for the property management services that you provide? What's the total amount of revenue that's actually happening inside of your business? And what percentage of that revenue is actually coming in terms of recurring revenue, better known as our ARR, our annual recurring revenue, or our MRR, our monthly recurring revenue. And the core principle of what great real estate agencies really want to do is they want to make sure that their monthly recurring revenue is ideally above their monthly recurring expenses, so then they've got a monthly recurring profit before they even turn one single dollar in sales. And this is about understanding that when you start out as a principal, most people are focused on profit and loss type stuff, having a look at what we've got to call top line revenue and maybe the profitability of the business. But what they're not really looking at is what we got to call the balance sheet items in terms of the assets that they're actually building in terms of saleable value. Now, this is what you've got to get really clear about, is defining the objectives of what does success look like for us over the course of the next 12 months. And then setting the strategic priority around what are the 1, 2, or 3 things that will rapidly change the entire course of the business. This is what great estate agents are all about. When they sit back in that business leadership position, they start thinking differently about really understanding what are we doing over the course of the next 12 months to actually grow market share, to be able to grow penetration in the markets that we serve in, to be in a position that we play the game in a better way, to lift the productivity inside of the business. Let's say, for example, that your estate agency has, 30 salespeople. And let's say that you had one initiative called one extra transaction per salesperson per month. Now, at the end of the day, that literally is an extra 30 transactions a month. Times that by 10, that's an extra 300 transactions a year. That one strategy could be the thing that literally completely changes the entire business. The second strategy might be that you might say, Josh, you know what? I've got 1,000 landlords. How many of those 1,000 landlords would like to buy another investment property? If we can literally get 10% of those landlords to buy another investment property, that would ultimately be another 100 managements in terms of net growth. Now, the interesting conversation at a case value of $2,000, that literally starts to change the game, because all of a sudden now you've got an extra $200,000 worth of revenue that's coming into the business. But more importantly than that, times that by 4, you've probably now built an extra $800,000 in terms of saleable value. Get really clear about the strategy that you're putting in play. This is the time, as we come to the close of a financial year, to have a look at the numbers and to get really clear about where the biggest opportunities are that you should be pursuing to ultimately fundamentally change the entire nature of the business.